Hello everybody, my name is Finch from FlipSideTactics.com and I'm bringing you the very first episode of Dota for Dummies. Dota for Dummies is a new video series that aims at brand new players coming into the world of Dota and having a lot of questions on how the game works. Hopefully these initial concepts help you begin to understand the game of Dota, and as you move forward, you can graduate from these videos into our other content that we have over on FlipSideTactics.com. Hello everybody, this is Finch from Dota Inside and FlipSide Tactics, bringing you the first episode of Dota for Dummies. This episode we're going to be going over hotkeys and movement, two of which are the most basic things in the world of Dota that you need to understand before you begin playing. If you don't understand these things, you have a really hard time moving on to the larger concepts. One thing I'd like to say right off the bat is the nice thing with Dota is everything that I talk about today is customizable and you can change it to fit your own personal needs and what you like the most. If you, by default, the game is on. Mouse wheel scroll in and out, usually you're going to leave it, actually always you should leave it fully out. But if you want to change the hotkeys, you go out of the game, click this little gear in the top upper left hand corner, and then you see all this. So these are all the hotkeys that you're able to adjust and customize for yourself. So right now you got unit actions, you have attack move, normal move, stop, hold position, and then I changed these to my own personal thing. Select hero is going to be 1, select courier is going to be F1, and then so the control groups may have 1 all be hero. You get control 2 to submit or to lock another kind of creep or something else that's under my control to the second control group, third control group. Abilities, I use Q, W, E, R, and then D and F if the hero has these extra abilities. Same thing for the courier, I use the default ones, neutrals, I use the default ones as well. If you're a Dota 1 player and you only play Dota 1, you can turn on legacy hotkeys. This will make the hotkeys the same as they were in Dota 1 because Dota 1 didn't use the QWER system. If you are new to Dota 2, I suggest keeping with QWER. All the heroes will use that for their hotkeys rather than a different set of hotkeys for every hero. It's just too much to learn and a little bit hard to get adjusted to. Items, by default, it's going to be keypad 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Personally, I suggest changing this immediately, even before you play your first game of Dota. It's too hard to move your hand all the way across the keyboard, to hit the key, the number pad, and hit one of the hotkeys. It's a little bit more difficult. So this is what I use. This is what I have found that works best for me. I use spacebar as my first inventory, 4 and 5 as my next 2, Z, X, and C as my bottom 3. The reason I leave 2 and 3 or 1, 2, and 3 open is because 1 I use my hero, and then 2 and 3 I like to use if I need a hotkey, some other unit I need to micro. It's just what I like the best. Some people like to use the Alt key, let's say like Alt Q, W, E. Heroes of New Earth is a game that lets you do that. And then also you can change it to any other combination. Some people maybe like to use Shift or maybe Control, things like that. You just need to figure out what works best for you. This right here works best for me. But if you wanted to change it, it's very easy. All you do is you left click on that. Say I wanted to change this to Alt Q. I hit Alt, I hit Q, and then it's saved. So now my inventory 1 slot is going to be Alt Q. I want to change it back, spacebar, it's done. This can be changed for all the stuff, such as the quick team chat wheel, spectator mode if you're using spectator mode, hero abilities, all that kind of stuff is all customizable, so you need to figure out what works best for you. Alright, we'll go back into the game. Movement. Right click to move, moves you that position, pretty self-explanatory. A click, attack move, it's going to attack anything in its path until it gets that position. You can move the mouse to the edge of the screen to move the screen back and forth, up and down, side to side, all that kind of good stuff. You can box and select all the units in that box that you control, and then move. So I'll move out here down to these creeps, down in this bottom lane, and I'll get there. As far as hero centering on the camera, so say I want to go to Stumpy, I hit F1 because he's talking on F1, he shows up right here. I hit 1 again, go back to Windrunner. If I want to move the camera to Windrunner right now, double tap 1, comes to her. If you double tap 1 and hold it, it does what it's doing now, to where it sticks onto the hero. If not, say I'm back here, double tap, and then it just lets her keep going. Same thing, move out to Stumpy, double tap F1, double tap Windrunner. You're going to use that quite a bit, something to get used to. When it comes to creeps, I can go right click behind him and move. So that's a normal move. You don't attack anything at all. Attack move, I hit A, click behind him, she attacks as soon as she gets in range and she's able to attack. When it comes to last hitting the creeps, you can right click on the creep, You shoot the creep, it dies, you get the gold. You can also A-click on the creep, but you have no really need to do this because right-click works totally fine. Right now I have auto attack turned off, so if I come right here, I'm not going to begin auto attacking the creeps. That's a setting you can also adjust. Some people like it turned on, some people like it turned off. It's all personal preference. Denying is what I just did to that to catapult. So you click A, you click on your own creep, and you deny it. So A, click on your own creep, denies it. By denying a creep, you prevent your enemy from getting gold and experience. In this game, it's just a bot game. There's no bots, but it's just me hanging out in this lobby showing you guys this stuff, so there's no enemy here I'm laning against. But it's good to know you need to deny as much as possible because it allows you to keep your lane pushed closer to your tower and also prevents them from getting gold and experience, both of which are very good things. The next up is going to be S and H, that's stop and hold position. Stop lets you stop what you're doing, so right now say I want to use my ability, so if I use the shackle, there we go, there's the shackle. And if I wanted to stop it, say I go to use it and I see that it's not going to land and I want to stop it, that's when you're going to hit S and you can stop the animation. You'll use a lot of heroes will have abilities that you want to try to use, and if you know they're not going to land, you don't want to cast them, you don't want to miss. So I click Q, I go to do it, and I hit S. Q, click S, and you can see she begins to throw it, and then I hit S, and she stops. That's kind of an advanced thing that you need to you'll get used to over time, but you don't want to miss your abilities because this is 12-second cooldown. If you miss it, you don't have fun. And then also you got the power shot. It's a channel, so I click, channel goes through, and she fires it off. If I click S for the stop, while she's channeling it, it cancels the channel early and allows me to cast the ability sooner, but it also reduces the amount of damage it does. So I click W for the power shot, and I click S. Did halfway. It still fires off, but it does less damage than a fully charged power shot would have. That's stop and hold position. Auto attack, by default, auto attack is turned on. You can go into the settings once again. This time you go under game, and you turn auto attack on. I leave these off. I use double tap to ability self cast on. That's very useful to use for using items such as Force Staff, or maybe you have a heal, like you play in Warlock and you want to heal yourself. You double tap it, things like that. That's very useful to leave on. So I suggest leaving this on for sure. These are all kind of personal preference. Auto attack, you can leave it on or off. There's pros and cons of each, in my opinion. So by leaving it on, I right click to this position, I get to that position, I begin attacking the creep. Some people like this, some people don't. Like I said, the one benefit of this is it makes it easier for newer players to last hit. So say I want to do this, and I'm trying to time it to where this guy gets low. I can keep hitting S. See, I stop in the animation, and then he gets low enough. Okay, now I can take the last hit. More advanced players would rather be doing this, where you're moving around. Okay, this guy's getting low. Take it. Newer players, you can just wait and then do it. It's your own personal preference, like I said, finding what works best for you. In that instance, for this video, I'm going to be leaving it off. Next up is going to be item use. So like I said earlier, my item hotkeys, space 4-5-Z-X-C. This is what I like to use. You can do it whatever you like. This works best for me. Spacebar, because my thumb's going to be down there anyways. It's easy to click, so for tangos, hit spacebar, click on a tree, eat the tree. 4, my hand's right there anyways. Activate the phase boots, increases my movement speed. Double tap to self cast, like I was talking about earlier, so you have Force Staff. I can double tap Force Staff, and it shoots me forward. That way you don't have to click it and click yourself or click an ally. If you double tap it, it's going to cast it on yourself automatically based on that setting. Those are for items, abilities we talked about. Next up is going to be shift command. Shift commands are very, very important and something that you should learn to use. Basically, shift queuing is when you're able to queue up your orders to your the hero you're controlling. So I want to move here. Right click, I'm going to move in a square. So now I'm moving in a square, I'm holding down shift. And then I let go of shift, and she continues to use that path that I set up for, where she's moving in a square. You might think, well, why do I want to do that? You're not going to obviously let your hands off the keyboard, but there's many instances in which you want to set up a chain of events to allow you to move quicker and freely. So one good one is going to use a tango. I want to eat this tree right here. If I want to say I eat this tree, and then I stop. it slows you down. Say I want to eat this tree, I hit spacebar, click the tree, hold shift, right click forward, let go, I eat the tree and continue forward without hesitation, and I'm able to do that. Another big one is if you want to buy a scroll of town portal. So I have a town portal scroll, I want to go mid, I'm going to teleport in, I'm going to hold shift, W, power shot, click forward, land, power shot, shoot. I was able to queue up all those commands without me trying to time the portal when I landed and then click it. It just does it for you. It's very easy, and shift queuing is a little bit something that's more advanced, but the more you get used to it, the better player you'll become.
Already moving.
And it's very, very useful. The last thing I'd like to talk about for hotkeys for this video is going to be hotkeys for the Courier. If you look on the Courier right now, Stumpy's a flying Courier because he is awesome. He has more abilities as a flying Courier. If he's ground Courier, he does not have the speed burst ability. He still has the retrieve items and transfer items. These two are going to be your main two, your bread and butter for delivering items to yourself. Basically, the Courier allows you to bring items that you purchase from the shop all the way to you, whatever you're at on the map. For this game, the hotkey right now for shop is period. So I hit period, brings up the shop. Here's the shop interface. You can purchase the item on Stumpy. So say I want to get this mechanism. So I click on Stumpy, click the item, then I can click F, which is transfer items, and now Stumpy's going to be delivering me this item.
Oh.
He will drop it in your inventory automatically, depending on if you have space or not. So you'll see here, right into my inventory. Now I have a mechanism. Let me get rid of these potions. So double tap both of those, cast it on yourself. That's very useful. Another thing you can do is, so say now I want to purchase an orchid. I can purchase the orchid from my hero, anywhere on the map, because those items you can buy from the main shop. The item's going to show up in my stash, which is going to be right here. And now you can go to Stumpy. You can click D to retrieve items from stash. It's going to show it right here. And then you click F. And then now that's going to be delivering it to me. Speed boost, it's R. Click that. It's going to give him a little speed boost, make him get there a little bit quicker. E, return items to stash. You're never really going to use this too much. The only time you'll use it is if you send him to the secret shop over here, and you purchase an item and you want him to deliver the item to your secret shop or to your own personal stash. But that, very rarely you're going to use it. Mostly DNF is going to be your bread and butter, and then usually R for the speed boost when you need it. But for right now, I'm going to put it back in my stash. Another thing that Valve added, which is actually very, very useful for newer players that have a hard time moving back and forth. So, what you can do is you can hit F1, select Stumpy, click D, click F, and now Stumpy's coming to me. He's down here in the mini-map. He grabbed that from my stash, and he's delivering it to me. Let's have him back. Go put it back in my stash, Stumpy. He's probably wondering why I'm changing my mind so much. The thing you can do that Valve added is down here in the bottom left. It shows you that we have a Courier. It's Stumpy, Nature's Attendant, because he's awesome. That has a hotkey for the speed boost, and also a hotkey for grabbing the items from your stash, which is this little pouch, and then the arrow pointing to you is delivering it to you. So right now you don't have to even click on the Courier. I have the item purchased in my stash. I click on the pouch. Stumpy begins moving. He grabs the item from my stash. He takes it on himself. He's moving towards me. And then you can also click this little speed boost. You see it has 40 seconds left. He has the speed boost, and he delivers it to me, and I have the item. That about wraps up hotkeys for this video. If you guys have any questions or comments, please feel free to let us know, and we'll do our best to answer them. Thanks for watching. Once again, tune in more to Dota Insight, and as well as FlipSide Tactics for more Dota info and other games and things like that. Take care, everybody. Goodbye.